And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's going to be together. Man, what's up, my people? This is Showbiz Adult. All right, man, look. Yeah, got the tree. Got the tree with the family. Beautiful tree. Ms. Biz wants to decorate the tree differently this year, so getting ornaments and stuff together. It was a lot of fun today. Eggnog, Christmas in a cup. Let's talk. So I'm getting a lot of emails, and I'm getting responses to a few of my shorts wanting me to clear up a few things. Errol the True Spence and Keith one time, and how I feel about that whole thing. I've said some things that I guess people think is crazy. I said if Errol the True Spence didn't fight him, he'll be a duck. And I also said that Errol Spence requested the WBA to approve the fight in order to have leverage to say that the fight is happening because he requested it, type of thing, in a press conference. Let me clear all of that up because I'm going to double down on it. I just don't think you guys understood. It's strange how you guys don't understand. But I want to say this too about Terrence Bud Crawford, because I said something about Terrence Bud Crawford that people didn't get. When Terrence Bud Crawford, let me start with him. When Terrence Bud Crawford, when he said, everybody's blaming me, blame the business of boxing. I want to say this, bro, you are the business of boxing. You spent an entire Instagram saying how you're your own boss and Errol the True Spence isn't. That you sit at the table, negotiation table, and Errol the True Spence, he hadn't. So that means you are the business of boxing. So that's another reason why, look, you're your own boss. You sat at a negotiation table. Nope, you have no one to speak to. Errol Spence got to speak to someone else who speaks to someone else to get to you, where you're your own boss. So don't blame you, blame the business. So you got to be partially the blame. Partially, not all the blame, but partially, okay? As far as Errol Spence and the WBA, that comment. No. Let's go back to Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. If Errol Spence doesn't fight him, he'll be a duck. Look, when people said that Errol Spence isn't fighting him because he's being petty, saying that Keith one time Thurman didn't fight him when he wanted Keith Thurman. Now that Keith Thurman wants to fight him and Keith Thurman doesn't have any belts, Errol Spence is like, nah. Okay, fine. It was petty. It was cool. People feel Errol the True Spence will beat him with a body shot anyway. Right? So nobody was really tripping. But when the WBC ordered the fight, I thought you got to fight him. If you don't, it's a duck. Because being petty is not, that's too much. That's not that much. That's not an alpha male trait when it comes to the sport of boxing, okay, and doing your job. If the WBC, with them ordering the fight, saying that Errol the True Spence must fight him, in order for him not to fight him, you have to what? Vacate the title? That's a duck, okay? And it's cool. It's not cool to say, I vacated the title and me versus Terrence Bud Crawford would not be for undisputed because I was being petty. I don't think there's any of you out there, especially any alphas out there, that be like, whoa, I get that. Being petty, yeah. Okay, so that's why I was saying that. Now, the other thing, if he went the route of franchise himself, because having a franchise title, you have certain perks and you don't have to fight your mandatories. I wouldn't have had a problem with that if the whole boxing world didn't call the franchise title a duck title. So it'd be a duck if Errol the True Spence did that. Lomachenko was a duck when he did it, right? Canelo Alvarez is a duck. Okay, then if Errol the True Spence goes a franchise route, it's a duck. So for me, there was no alternative but to fight Keith Thurman. Now, there are people crying about the fact that he's fighting Keith Thurman. He has no choice Why not Boots? Boots is not his mandatory. Boots requested to be the IBF mandatory, but he's not. Ortiz, he has to fight Stanionis to be the WBA mandatory. They're fighting for that elimination. It's like an elimination bout to be Errol the True Spence WBA mandatory. He had no choice, I guess, vacate the WBC title to take on Boots? I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Especially if we all want Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford for undisputed. That'd be ridiculous, all right? Now we know he can't fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford took the fight with Bill K. Prime for Evanesian. So what was Errol Spence to do? There's no choice. And to keep it real, if it's not Boots Ennis, if it's not him, Keith Thurman is the best choice. What, Stanionis? No. Keith Thurman is the big... Look, no matter what you guys say, you're talking and crying and panicking and having temper tantrums now. But Errol Spence and Keith Thurman's press conference is going to be fire, and you know it. You're going to cry now because that's what we do. We love to cry. But we're going to laugh later, though. Because when Keith Thurman and Errol Spence doing their face-off, with all that history they got, it's going to be huge. Plus, Keith Thurman still has only had one loss, and that's a split decision loss against one of the greatest fighters ever. And that happens, okay? Those great fighters like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacman Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, on their way out, Tommy Hearns, Beaton Hill, on their way out, they'll mess around and whoop your ass. It was a split decision win for Manny Pacquiao. That's his only loss. Mario Barrios wasn't really even a tough fight. Keith Thurman whipped his ass. The problem is, though, is that Mario Barrios hurt him with that body shot. And it reminded us, this guy's body is fragile. It's more fragile than Amir Khan's chin. That's what happened. But he has no choice. That's the fight. Let me get my Christmas in the cup. And if he doesn't fight him, that's a duck. Now, when I spoke up the idea of Errol the True Spence requesting for the WBA to approve the fight, and y'all said, well, they only fighting because the WBC ordered it, not because Errol the True Spence requested the WBA. I know that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's why they're fighting. I'm saying this is why Errol the True Spence had his team requested. So in the press conference, now that he must fight Keith Thurman, try to imagine a press conference and leading up to the fight. Errol Spence doesn't want Keith Thurman to have any leverage. Now, if he doesn't request it, if he didn't pull this move and play this chess move, sit, boom, sit. My dog, boom, boom, he's crazy. If he didn't request it, Keith Thurman would definitely run away with the press conference. You're only fighting me. You were ducking me. You're only fighting me because the WBC ordered it, which may just be the case. But with Errol the True Spence requesting it by the WBA, he can argue that he wanted Keith Thurman back. Yeah, once I found out that I must fight you, I really want to fight you. How is it that we're only fighting because the WBC ordered it when I went further and said, forget it, let me double down on it and request for the WBA to approve our fight? It's when you want, why would he request that? For argument reasons, for his ego. That's why he requested it. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. Makes sense to me, let me know. Because they're about to fight. And Keith Thurman's going to be like, I was never ducking you, but you sure was ducking me, and you were only going to fight me because the WBC ordered it. If Errol the True Spence didn't come on top of it and say that he requested from the WBA, he would have been like, he would have had no response to that. Only response he could have had was be petty, where you didn't want to fight me, so I didn't want to fight you. That just doesn't sound alpha enough. A lot of you betas think it sounds alpha, but it just doesn't sound alpha enough, not for us alphas. And we were going to know the difference. Errol the True Spence did the right thing. Let me whip your ass, then let me spin the block. The Keith Thurman and Errol Spence press conference is going to be so hot, they may mess around and forget about asking about Terrence Crawford. Seriously. That's going to be a hot press conference. We know what's going to happen. Errol the True Spence is going to give him that body work, and he's going to shit himself. Now, as for Boots Ennis, Okay? Well, showbiz, don't you want to see Errol Spence versus Boots? Yeah, but it's not realistic right now. So why cry about it? But if it was, how do I feel about that? Boots would probably whip his ass. If I was putting money on that, I'd put money on Errol Spence because of the experience. But I am impressed by Boots to the point where Boots may whip both of their asses, man. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I mean, you know, and Errol Spence, my guy. I'll be rooting for Errol Spence, definitely over Boots. I'll be rooting for him, but I'll be rooting for boxing more. I want to see who's better. Yeah. How do you feel, showbiz? Do you want to see Boots versus Errol Spence? Hell yeah. I want to see Boots versus Errol Spence versus Ortiz versus Terrence Crawford. But I don't cry about stuff that doesn't make any difference right now. For me to, if I cried about it and it made a difference, I would cry about it. But it doesn't make a difference. As of right now, the reality is, as a man, just knowing the reality is this. Keith Thurman is WBC, it was ordered by the WBC to take on Errol the True Spence. And Terrence Crawford is fighting Evanesian. If Errol Spence doesn't fight him, he vacates the title. Hey, fight that guy. And the ultimate thing is great for his legacy. There's nobody that Errol Spence is going to fight other than Boots that would be greater for his legacy than Keith Thurman. And that's the truth. Because Errol Spence beat Danny Swift Garcia. He beat Showtime Sean Porter, Kell Brook. And Keith Thurman was the other king. Before Terrence Crawford moved up to 147, that was it. That was the welterweight landscape. It was Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Showtime Sean Porter, Danny Swift Garcia, and Kell Brook. And Errol Spence can check off Keith Thurman on that list. Okay. And Errol Spence knew that way back. He knew that in the hallway when he was beefing with Terrence Bud Crawford. He brought up Keith Thurman. He said, why not fight the fights? I'm going to fight the fights in the house. He was like, who are you going to fight? And he brought up Keith Thurman was one of them. So Errol Spence, he knows. He knows that's better for his legacy. Showbiz for adult. I hope I explained that enough. But still, there's going to be you guys in the comments. Maybe some Errol Spence fan that didn't like that I said Boots would probably beat him. Some Errol Spence fan that didn't say if he didn't fight Keith Thurman, it'd be a duck. There'll be a Terrence Crawford fan that didn't like what I said about Terrence Crawford being his own boss. There'll be a Terrence Crawford fan that will get on Errol the True Spence for some reason, for, I don't know, the reason why he's fighting Errol Spence in the WBA thing. I know that there's going to be a lot of you that's going to have issues with what I say, and it's all going to be based on fanboying, okay? But if you listen to what I said, it's not that crazy, all right? Let me get my Christmas in the cup. I'm about to go watch some Christmas movies with the kiddos. Oh, my goodness. And it was a great day today, by the way. Just reading the DMs and everything over the past couple of days, you know, I fall behind. I listen to what you guys got to say, and I had to make this video. I'll be on for my live stream commentary tomorrow. I'm out.